Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? So, you've done this before, you know kind of how it works. But I like to just remind you this is not an exact science. We communicate the best way we can. Sometimes you're going to have to stretch it outside the box a little bit. Um, they never waste a message. There's always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, just keep it in mind because you'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later. It's their show. So it's totally up to them. We're going to start off with Rooster. And well, just personally, that is so sad, that what happened to the guy and disappeared and nobody seemed to care. I mean, I know you did. I know you did. Or you wouldn't be asking to talk to him, but it's just, wow. It makes you realize how lucky you are to have the loved ones that you have. Of course, my loved ones would think, oh, mom, grandma's just off on another one of her weird tangents. Anyway, he kind of comes in. I mean, I saw all the tattoos and stuff on him, but he kind of comes in walking. I think he's over exaggerating it, but it's more of a strut. It's like kind of a Billy Badass strut, but not really, if you know what I mean. I hope I explained that okay. Just he just strut kind of, but he's over exaggerating, making sometimes they over exaggerate it just to make sure that I see it. He's showing drumming his fingers, like drumming your fingers on a table, drumming your fingers. He said that's the way he felt. He says, oh, I wonder when they're going to find me. Wonder when they're going to find me. What is the holdup? But it wasn't like he was real impatient because he'd already gone on to wherever he needed to go. That's just our body that we leave behind, and I call it like our vehicle, our car that our soul, our spirit runs around here on earth in. And once it kind of goes to shit, we don't need it anymore. But we still have the same spirit, the same soul. We just don't have this heavy body holding us down on the earth. For some reason, he wanted me to explain that to you. He says you are one of the few people that I trusted. I wanted to help you move on to believe in yourself. Just because I went down a wrong path doesn't mean you needed to go down a wrong path. And I was hoping that I could help you because you are a very sweet person, very trusting. He said, whatever I did with my life, I did with my life. I don't want you to have any type of guilt, like you could have helped me, saved me. I was going to do what I was going to do. Always have. He says, always will. And I want you to know that you were a bright spot in my life. You helped way more than you know. Just by seeing past all my bullshit. And part of it, he's talking about his looks, like, his tattoos. And sorry. And part of it, he's talking about his facade. what he's calling it, a facade, because a lot of times he acted gruff and I don't care and I don't have any feelings and and you don't no, nobody's going to hurt my feelings because I've got this armor up and I've got this shield and I'm not going to let any of you get to me. He said, oops, somebody got to me. He's not talking about you now. He's talking about whoever put the him in that hole in the ground. And he's kind of being almost silly about it. Like, oops, somebody got to me. He's kind of giggling about it. They'll get theirs, but it's not even about that. Okay, so he wants me to explain. Before we come here, this is what they've taught me anyway. Before we come here, we decide an exit point. It could be when you're 1 day old, it could be when you're 100 years old. Whatever that timeline is, it can waver a little bit, it seems like. It's not like an exact day and time and moment. And I'm not sure we decide before we come here how we're going to leave. I think they haven't explained that to me, but it seems like it kind of depends on what's going on. What path you've taken, because we have free will choice. We can choose to go down any path we want. So if we choose to go down that path, then that changes a lot of circumstances as far as what happens in our life. It's our free will choice. We can do it if we want to. So, where was I going with that? Lost my brain again. So anyway, so we can, it kind of depends on what's going on with the people around us. What did you learn from his passing? What did you learn? What did you get out of it? So I don't want to say there's a silver lining when everybody leaves, but there's something you're supposed to learn or something you should reflect on that you're supposed to learn from his life. And yet, he says you gave him great peace. You gave him, it was like unconditional friendship. You didn't give a shit what he looked like. And I have a friend like that. It's like, um, usually it's drugs and alcohol and when I first met him, he scared the hell out of me. He'd talk about the devil and killing his mother, and his mother just fine. I know his mother, and but I could see through him. He'd draw devil faces on a napkin. I'd say, here's a napkin. Draw me an angel. I don't know how to do that. Draw me an angel because I can see the good in you. And that's the reason I'm telling you my story is because that's the way he feels you were towards him. You could see the good points in him that other people couldn't see. He says actually a lot of times he couldn't see it himself. And he trusted you. He says there's just something good about you. And don't forget that. Don't doubt it. He says when you get those poor me days, and we all get them, when you get those poor me days, he wants you to call on him because he will pop into your head. If you're having a bad day and it's like, you know, we all get those days where, life's shit. Fuck this, I'm going to go sit in the room and cry. And, we all get those days. He's going to pop into your head. And it's going to be, okay, explain it to me. What do you want? that you're going to see the good in yourself through him. Because of him, you're going to see the good in yourself, that you cared about somebody that nobody else cared about, that you are a good person, that you have done a lot of good for other people that you may not even know. Because he's trying to tell you how much good you did for him. You didn't have to be there 24/7. You didn't have to be that you were noticed he was gone, even though he, disappeared for a while before they found him. That part doesn't matter. It's the part that you did do. And he wants to, when you have a poor me day, he's going to pop into your head. And just think about the things he's telling you right now. The things that we usually don't tell other people. That, wow, you really did that for me. Or he probably wasn't going to admit it because he's rough and tough. No, he says, actually, I'm a pussycat. I'm a pussycat to the right people. I deeply loved you as a friend. Didn't want you mixed up in any of my stuff. You were like a breath of fresh air to him. Not like all of his other, gonna call him crazy? He says crazy friends. Okay, I can see Dustin. Oh, let me make sure I got this right name. All right, Dustin. I can see him standing in the background, but he's not going to step forward during this one. He'll be in the next one. But he's making his presence known. Rooster's talking about one of his buddies that he hooked back up with when he got up there. He's calling him Twig. Twig. Now, we stink at names, don't know why, and I always have to explain that, but the more I explain it, the worse it gets. So it's kind of like I'm jinxing myself every time I have to explain that. But anyway, he's tall, he's skinny, ergo, the nickname Twig. And he's got his arm around Rooster's shoulder, like, kind of laying on there, like, hey, bud. How you doing, bud? Calling him bro. Bro. So whoever this tall, skinny, skin looks darker. Show me again.
Motion detected at the side yard.
I don't know. He could be African American. Not sure about that. So, but his skin is a little darker. Anyway, for some reason, he's wanting you to know that him and Twig, or whoever this is, hooked up. And they're kicked back, good to go. He's talking about smoking left-handed cigarettes, but that it was all right because it wasn't in my left hand, it was in my right hand. I never heard that before. It was all right because it's in my right. I don't know if he's talking about himself personally doing it, or he said it's not that big a deal. Some of the other stuff could be, but that was not that big a deal. He's talking about you shaking your tail feather. He kind of went, like when you get a chill, he kind of went, brr, like his body did that. but he's talking about you shaking your tail feather. Usually, to me, that usually means dancing. Shake your booty all night long. Shake your booty whenever you want to. There's nothing wrong with that. He says, be who you want to be. You're trying to please too many people. You're trying to do what all these other people expect you to do, expect you to be, and you're forgetting about who you want to be, who you feel in your gut you want to be, that you want to do. You're running around trying to make everybody happy. He says, and that just tends to be a way to get for them to use you. If they can get you to do all that stuff for them. They're, say it again. They may not be consciously using you, but they're using you. Maybe not on purpose, like to be mean, using you, but it's still, he says, it's still a matter of using you. And you not doing what you need to do for you. For you. For you. He keeps saying for you. For you. For you. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? I did what I wanted to do. I didn't give a shit what anybody thought. I didn't give a shit what anybody said. I did what I wanted to do. If I wanted more tats, I got more tats. If I wanted to smoke, I smoked. If I wanted to go somewhere, I did. If I wanted to go out with some lady, he says I use that term loosely. Oh boy. If I want to go out with some lady, oh, he says he's trying to be polite for me. I don't give a shit. Say it however you want to, bud. Well, let's not go that far. I'm not going to say that word. He said, so I actually lived a good life because I felt free. I did what I wanted to do. He says, now you, and he's pointing at you right now, now you need to do that. Quit worrying about them other assholes. He's doing something weird with his hands, like, I don't know if he's talking about people chattering. He's doing something weird with his fingers. Did he do something like that? I don't know if he's trying to validate something or what he means by this. He says, so don't cry for me. I did my job. One of my jobs when I came here to Earth was to teach other people. Teach other people what they should and shouldn't do. Uh-oh. Stupid alarm. Or not alarm. Security camera. So what did you learn to do or not to do from me? What was your lesson from me? He's kind of giggling because it may not have been a good lesson, but you learned something. All right, he's singing Smile a little smile for me, Rosemarie. You must keep on blah blah blah. Hang on, let me check. Okay, so when I asked Alexa, she said flying machine saying that. I don't know. I think it's kind of back in the day, but I, I don't remember that band. Anyway, smile a smile for me, Rosemarie. And go Google it or YouTube it or however you want to do it. And check out the words of that song. Not sure why he's singing it. He said you need to pony up. You need to pony up. You need to pony up for yourself. You need to pony up. He says you've had some people in your life that like to wipe their feet on you like a dirty doormat. And he doesn't think it's fair. Then again, he says pony up. So I'm just going to guess that he's talking about ponying up for yourself. However, let me ask her if she knows what that means. Yeah, well, ALEXA says it usually means to pay, and it says money, as in settling an account. But this may not be a physical account. This could be an emotional account. I'm not sure. Pony up. He wants you to pony up for yourself. Now just keep that in mind. I'm not going to put anything into it that shouldn't be. So he's walking and he's dragging. He's dragging a foot behind him. He's walking, but he's dragging his foot. Don't know if he had a limp, if something happened to him at the end where he would have had to drag his foot, or if somebody else has a severe problem with one of their legs. I'm not sure where he's going with that either. He said there's always a reason. They do not waste their energy. There's always a reason for what they're saying. He's not saying why he's showing me this. I'm not sorry I'm gone. I did what I needed to do. Now it's time for me to go do something else. I'm not sorry. Do not be sad for me. Because once I was gone, oh, I'm not sure I like this. Once I was gone, I was already gone doing I was already where I needed to go, doing what I needed to do. And as far as that body laying there, it didn't really seem to bother him. But I will say, when we go to the other side, they send us through a cleansing process. And I always say it's like they peel us like an onion. They take all that heavy stuff that weighs us down here on earth, and I'm not talking about physical stuff. I'm talking about the negative emotions, negative things, and they peel it off of us like an onion, kind of cleanse our soul, our spirit. I can't quit coughing. So he already went on to his next phase to do what he needed to start doing. You need to quit smoking. So to him, it didn't matter that the shell of him was still laying here. It wasn't a big deal to him. He says, "Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for seeing the good in me when others couldn't or wouldn't. And don't forget to pony up for yourself. And when Daddy's going to leave, he's got all these little red hearts floating out of him. He admires you very much. And what you do for others above and beyond. And he turns around and looks at you and says, now do that for yourself. Save yourself. Take care of yourself. And he blew you a quick kiss, and off he went. He's a very interesting person. I like him. He's a nice guy. Okay. Thank you, my dear. I'll get on the other one probably tomorrow. So it's getting late in the day here. Much love to you, Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Later.